So, hello everyone, and thank you for joining the session. A very warm welcome to all of my SAP colleagues, and of course to all of our external partners who are joining us today. And welcome to this session. It's an update on SAP Central Business Configuration, CBC for short. Before we begin, as with all other sessions, to make you aware that we will be recording the webinar, and the recordings will be posted to the landing pages following the session. Also, we will be conducting a Q&A. There will be time at the end to answer your questions. I would ask all of the audience to contribute your questions via the Q&A tool at the bottom of your screen. So preferably there and not in the chat. Finally, we will be launching a poll at the end of the session. It's just for feedback for ourselves, for planning. So please do take 2 minutes to fill out the poll. We would appreciate that. So let's get started, and first of all, I'll quickly take you through the agenda of today's session. Axel, if we could move to the next slide, please. Thank you very much. So we'll be kicking things off with a general update on SAP Central Business Configuration by our product owner, Jörg Ruprecht. And following Jörg, Axel Kuhl will be giving us an update on SAP Central Business Configuration with SAP S4HANA 3 Cloud, 3 system landscape, and will include a demo. Following this, we will receive a demo for Delta features from Arthur Arnoana, and finally an update on the enhancements to SAP Activate for SAP Central Business Configuration from Lauren Bituzzi. In conclusion, like I said, then we'll be hosting a Q&A, and once again, please do submit your questions via the Q&A function below. So that's an overview of what we've got in store for you. Let's get it kicked off, and I'll hand over now to Jörg. Thank you. Jörg, I think you're on mute.
Yes, I'm here. I would assume that you can hear me now. So hello, everyone, and warm welcome also from my end, from my side. My name is Jörg Ruprecht, and as briefly mentioned, I'm part of the product team here, owning the consumption, what we call the consumption with the project experience for the SAP Central Business Configuration. And I'm happy to present you here an update and present you with the other team members here the news for the Central Business Configuration. And with this, I would like to start. And I would like to start with the aim of giving you a brief overview, somehow a recap here. And maybe a few of you know about this as we talk about the Central Business Configuration for the S4HANA Cloud Essentials. This is what we currently work with, what we currently offer to our customers. And the main processes, what you can see here, we talk about the different phases, starting with Explore, Realize and Deploy, being part of the project experience to help you and to provide guidance here to deal with the project implementation with the aim of setting up the S4HANA Cloud Essential connected to this 2 system landscape here live using CBC. We have here an overview about the main processes. We start with the scoping. We have here the chance to deal with main settings, such as the primary finance setting. Key feature is the setup of the organizational structure and also dealing with the quality system and deploy what you have scoped, what you have set up here, then to the further system, to the queue system, to continuously then continue with the project implementation and moving to the realize phase. And here you can do the detailed configuration, the configuration activities, and you can also here release transports from the quality system to the productive system, as said, with the aim to move them to the deploy phase, to maintain current settings in the P system, and then go live and further continue with configuration. For this, we have the chance here to do changes. And these changes, if you would like to change the scoping, if you would like to change your org structure, then you can also move back. What you see here below is a brief overview about the projects and the systems we support. We have the starter project where we allow you to deal with the starter system we have the initial implementation project as the main project here to do your implementation for the Q system, and later on, after go live, also to do ongoing operations. You see here below in gray, the connected systems, as said, starter system, quality system, and the production system. We would like to highlight this because we have here news for you along with this session, and we will talk about the three-system landscape, which will something new, which we also support with the central business configuration. Having said this, I would like to move to the next page here. Yeah, thank you. And yeah, this is the general update about what is new in comparison to our previous session here. A few highlights here for the project experience, for scoping, org structure, which are important areas to set up and to deal with. Here we have focused on continuous improvements, such as project description, which is available now on the screen. One subject, the second here is a new grouping and the scope item ID for the scope items, the abbreviation, 3 digits here. This was part of your feedback, and this is our response to it to make it available now. We have an improved user interface for the organizational structure here, and we have here a 2-step process, which is important, as we think that this provides you advantages here. First, to create the mandatory steps, the mandatory org units, the entities here, and in the second step to confirm the units here, besides the guidance we provide here in the organizational structure. One additional subject that we have here now, that we have different roles provided. You can assign different roles to the user who work with central business configuration. And I would like to also add here the user assistance with our help portal and the in-app help, which is also a good help for information, what and how does it work with the central business configuration. With this, I would like to then move to the highlight for the One S4HANA Cloud, the One S4HANA Cloud, the solution we provide here with the 3-tier system landscape using CBC, the release 2105. With this solution, we provide more flexibility in the 3-tier system landscape in the cloud solution set. And this is the main focus now during the next session here with Axel Kühl, who will provide you more details about the One S4HANA Cloud using in the 3-system tier landscape. With this, I would like to hand over to Axel. Thank you.
Thanks, Jörg. So yeah, welcome from my side. My name is Axel Kühl. I'm also part of the product management team. And I would like to provide you a short glimpse of what we call here 3-system landscape, some improvement regarding to more flexibility in creating additional either extensibility or configuration and test possibilities compared to the essentials world. Just right starting with a comparison between 2-system landscape, in short USL, or 3-system 3SL. In principle, the major difference is really in the system setup as such. As you saw before from Jörg, is that in the 2-system landscape, you have mainly a Q and a P, so Q system and production system. Starter system, I ignore for the moment because it's in both areas the same. And the starter system is only an entry point to get familiar with the solution. It is sooner or later vanishing. In principle, at least if you have the production system in your hand, the starter system will be removed. That is the same for 2 and the 3-system landscape. In the 3-system landscape, you have then for the whole time 3 systems in indeed. So the development system, where you also can do some extensibility, which is called steampunk, but for that we need another session. You have the test system where you can test the whole configuration you did, as you, I would say, know maybe from on-premise solutions. And for sure, you have still the production system where your system then is really running. From From starting perspective, some years ago, the two-system landscape was introduced to make it easier in the cloud. But we saw that the demand is that we also need to have some three-system landscape approach, even to get or to bring more flexibility to the customers, be it extensibility, as I said, or be it the testing purpose. Saying something about the availability of the three-system landscape. So currently we have released 3SL for early adopters. This happens, I think, last week. So only a few customers can have a glimpse on the 3SL approach. These are currently 5 or 6. This will be increasing over the time. The general availability is planned for next year, but the date is not totally clear. So this is something for the future. And what we also plan is that existing customers will be converted from existing solution builder to CBC first, and from CBC then to 3SL as well. But also here the roadmap is not announced yet. So this is also something for the future. Very important note below, it is really a three-system cloud environment. It's not on-premise. So please take that in mind. It's really a cloud system. You do not have direct access to the backend of S4, as before in the two-system landscape and cloud environment, where we have dealing with restrictions, with restricted access, and the hosting and the life cycle is done by SAP. A little bit more details on the comparison between the two landscape, and then I will show it also in the system. What are the major differences? So in the two-system landscape, as Jörg showed, you have the CBC tenant with the workspace and the project in. You have the deployment into the quality system, and from the quality system itself, if you have done all the tests, you control also the transport or trigger the transport in CBC. So which is also sometimes named as Q2P, that the configuration changes going from the quality system to the production system. That's in very short the story you have with the two-system landscape. In the three-system landscape, it's slightly different. You have not only one workspace, you have two. One is comparable with the workspace here above. This workspace here is for your main project. And you have another workspace called development workspace, where you can do some extensibility. So here you can add special functions. As I said, it's called Steampunk. Another session, because this is now really related to extensibility. Going from these workspaces, then it's more or less the same. You have the development system where you deploy your configuration changes. This S4 system will then coordinate the activation of the configuration, and then that's a major difference. It's on customer hands to bring the configuration via transport to the test and to the production system. And this is something I would like to show you how this typically looks like, not for the whole project, but at least for the fine-tuning, so that you see what will come, and that you see that in principle there's more there are more flexibility for the customer to deal with the transports and to test then the customizing changes here in the test system and release it to the production system. So let me see whether I can log on now. It looks good so far. So what you can see here is a system from a CBC system. It's based on CBC 2105 with an S4 2108. It is built like a customer system. It's an internal test system, but in fact looks like the same as customer will get it. We are here in the realize phase of a project, means the whole implementation, or the first round of implementation, is already done. So activation is already done. All this stuff is in the related systems, and I would do like now a small configuration changes. For that, I will go over to the fine-tuning area. Give me a second, I need to. And we'll search for one given fine-tuning. It's a defined functional area from the fin area. If I click now here, typically you see here some documentation. For that respect, there's a bug in this will change for sure. You will see the documentation in the S4 system if you need it. But anyways, as soon as the bug is solved, you will see it here as well. If I press now this button, I will jump directly in the S4 system. And since these systems are connected and the user experience or the user is assigned to a proper role, you have no further login, so it's seamlessly. Yeah? This window here opens without any further login. The first login you do in CBC, and then it works as well for the system here, for the dev system. I can do here now some slight changes, doesn't matter what. So it's test 10, whatever, doesn't matter. Big difference now is if I press here now, save, then in the two system landscape, the following will happen. The stuff is recorded to some transport, and this is behind the scenes. You never deal with that. And it's synced back to CBC as well. In the three system landscape, a pop-up comes up and asks you for a transport request. And now you have the possibility to choose either the default transport request, which is currently not shown here, or you create a new one. I would like to create a new one. So we have here now a test transport. I'm sorry. And I can say save. Can say, okay, fine. And this stuff is saved on that transport. If I'm done with all my configuration changes, and I've maybe did some test here in dev, but I want to see now these configuration changes in the next system, so in the test system, I leave that application here, enter the expert customizing transport application. And here you see something now which is quite familiar, and you may be on premise world. This is the transport organizer. Yeah, and in that transport organizer, you see already the test transport is located here. You can dig into details what happens here. So here we have some small changes I did with the fine tuning. You see also what is in the transport. You can also deal here with the fields if you want to like. Yeah, you jump in directly here in that application again, but this is not what I want to do. What the customer now needs to do is releasing that task. Oops, I'm sorry, one click too much. It's releasing that task. Can also do in simulation whether all is fine, but I do not need to do so now. It's quite simple. You get some messages here. Go one step back and releasing also the transport. And this is, as I said, something which is now also simulate here as possible, which is now on duty of the customer. And what happens here is now that again a check runs, the transport is released, and you need to go to the next system and import the transport. This is from our perspective the major change in the 3SL landscape. We will for sure have in future further sessions going a little bit more in detail and show you the whole story. But just to give you already a brief glimpse on it, you see what kind of flexibility you will earn in the wizard solution. And for sure, you will also get the flexibility to get much more possibilities for extensibility here as well. Okay, that's all from my side. And I would like to hand over now to Hannah.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Axel. Hello, everyone. My name is Wana Hadarian, and today with my colleague Arthur Lufing from the CBC enablement team, we'll be showing you directly in the system, we'll be showing you the new features in central business configuration. So let me then quickly share my screen and start. I hope that now you can all see my screen. I'm already in a project, and we want to showcase the new features that have been introduced with CBC 2105. First of all, there are three new roles introduced. as you probably know, the display user role, which has just display access that will not be possible to execute any activities, just to show, to display what has been done. And then there is the project lead role, which has all the possibilities to execute even the critical activities, to complete milestones, to do everything in a project experience. And then we have the key user role, which is which can perform activities but not critical ones, like confirming a milestone or the primary finance settings. And for this demo, we will be using the key user role just to show you the limitations that it has in comparison to the project lead role. So for example, here in the Teams tab, the key user role is not able to remove any users from the project, or is not able to add any new users to the project. That will be done by the project lead. So now, because I'm using the key user role, I cannot do that in my project. One additional thing that we have, it's the project description. You may notice here already that we have the title of the project, of our implementation project, and then next to it we can have an additional description that, if it exists, it will show up here in the left side corner. And also, maybe you remember from the last release that we had the possibility to request the queue system from the implementation system. Now, that activity to request the queue system was moved from the implementation system to the starter project, because it made more sense to be placed there, since you will be requesting the queue system from the starter system so that they are technically connected, and then you will be creating your implementation project to do the settings and to activate your queue system which you have requested. And in that way, that is also a change that you may have noticed, and I highlighted it now. So in regards to project experience, these are my updates for now, and Artur will show you in the next minutes the new features for scoping. So Artur, to you.
Thank you, Anna. Yeah, my name is Artur Lüffing. I'm part of the CBC team from the enablement team, and I'm gonna show you the scoping feature and functions, what we have improved. So basically, we have developed 2 new navigation possibilities and also a warning. And what does it mean? I will show you directly. The first point is what already Jörg in the beginning mentioned. We have now, by strong feedback from your community, introduced or included the scope item IDs in the CBC. That means, again, if you are familiar with the 3-digit systematic, then you just now have the possibility on search to find unique, the end-to-end process, what you want. That hopefully improves the navigation and finding easier and faster what you need. Let's assume you are interested in BD9, which is sell from stock. You simply search on it, the 3 digits you type in, and then you have identified, and you can include the scope item. So another possibility is, which is also a second navigation enhancement, is we have introduced searching by groups. We have here lines of businesses. Let's assume you know that your end-to-end process is something related to sales, but you can't remember anymore the 3 digits, and you do not want to go through 190 scenarios which we have listed here. And then you have simply the possibility to search via groups and say, okay, I take sales, and now I have a filter open, and you simply see, okay, only the scenarios which are related to sales. And now you can search for it, what really you want. And you look through the list and search, okay, for example, I'm searching again, like I done it before for sell from stock, and here I have it listed. So this is another possibility to find a little bit easier that specific end-to-end scenario what you need. Let's assume we have made our decisions, but we want again see that the scope items are included in my selected scope. And now you have simply the possibility via the scenarios items here to see not only just some headlines, you have also again more the matching via the enhancement of the scope item IDs. Okay, what's already selected in sales, for example, what you see here are the 3 digits, or yeah, simply you can navigate and check for the other line of businesses. But the enhancement here is that also here in what you have selected, the 3 digits of scope item IDs are covered. Now I complete, and here I came to the third part of what we have enhanced in the scoping environment. We have now introduced also a warning that you have to use to choose either IFRS or US GAAP scenario. So we take this warning serious and we cancel it. We go back to scoping, and then you search for IFRS or US GAAP. In my case, I use IFRS, say, okay, I add it to my scope. And you complete the activity. And you recognize by choosing the IFRS, you have no warnings anymore, and you can go ahead with the next step. So summarized, we have introduced 2 navigation possibilities to find easier your required scope item or end-to-end process, and the warning that you have a little bit more safeness that no one from your project members or you by mistake do simply something wrong. This we have improved. And now I want a little bit enhance or show at least once what Anna mentioned. We have introduced 3 users, or meaning 3 roles, which you can assign to a user. And we are here showing to you the so-called key user, which is more or less a project member. The project member have not the possibility to do everything, like Anna already mentioned. And this is by purpose, by the feedback coming also from your side, to give the project lead again a little bit more the possibility or simply the control about the implementation project. And here I want to show you one example. What does it mean? So you want to request as a project member now a license dependent scenario, and you want to open it. You want to manage it. Sorry, you want to manage it. And then you see you can't change the milestone. Yeah, so it's not in process, and it's also not, you can't complete it. So you can simply see as a project member, here is something to be touched, but you can't really control, or you can't really move it to the next step. This is only possible now with the role, with the authorization from the project lead. This as a rough understanding about our first steps into an authorization concept. Yeah, having said this, I would hand over back to Anna, and Anna will present you a bit more features and functions, I guess, about organizational management.
Thank you. Yes, indeed. Let me then share again my screen. And as you can see, I have jumped now to a new project that is more evolved, and we are already moved past the scoping step. And we are in the point where we define our org structure. Activities like primary finance settings, like I said, cannot be done by the key user. That's why I have completed them beforehand, and I'm going to jump right into the org structure to show you the new features here. First thing you notice is the org structure checks. These 2 checks were here before, but now the behavior changed a little in the sense that First, you are required to create all the mandatory units that are listed here. And then only after you have created all these, you can actually confirm them. Because in this way, it's more clear and not so confusing to the customer what has to be created and when to confirm and so on. So it was introduced this two-step process: first create and then confirm. As you can see, I have already created here some units. Basic org structure. A new thing that we have, it's in the address fields. Of course, the address was here before, possible to enter an address for the org units, but what is new with it's a new feature, are these three new fields that are here: the tax jurisdiction code, the time zone code, and the district name, which were asked for and are here now, able to be used. Also, there is a new way to view your org structure and to work with it. This is the full screen mode. This is this button here that enables the full screen. So once I will press it, you are already seeing more clear your org structure. You have the possibility not to use this side bars anymore, but you can simply drag and drop and have a look at your org structure, which can get really crowded at some point. If it's a big it's a big one. So now you have more space on the screen to view it. You can even make it smaller or bigger, or if you use even the simplified mode, it will simplify it even more, and you will see it very, very clear and nice now. With this, I think I've showed you the new features in org. So there are these three new updates. And I will hand over to Lauren for the SAP Activate. Thank you so much.
Hi, everyone. I am Lauren Bertuzzi, and I am a product specialist from SAP Activate. Now that Jörg, Axel, Artur, and Owana just showed you some of the things that are new, what's new with central business configuration, as well as demoed some of the Delta features in central business configuration for 2105, as well as what the experience would look like for S4HANA Cloud 3 system landscape. I wanted to take you through in the next couple of minutes briefly to show you how you can find some of this related information to central business configuration in the SAP S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap, and then briefly just talk about where those who are doing the early adopter program, where they can find the SAP S4HANA Cloud 3 system landscape implementation roadmap. So with the context that central business configuration is a powerful configuration tool that is leveraged throughout the implementation project to turn results of thought processes into actual solution behavior, I want you to think of SAP Activate as the overall implementation roadmap and CBC as the tool that provides solution-specific scoping and configuration guidance. And that's really something to keep in the back of your mind in case you're wondering, what does SAP Activate have to do with central business configuration? In fact, the image on this slide here is a screenshot of the SAP S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap that has the references to the right point in time to provide users with information on when central business configuration should be leveraged for that solution-specific scoping and configuration guidance. In a second, I will provide some context about the S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap that I think you should know, as the way that the S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap is providing information differs slightly than how the S4HANA Cloud 3 system landscape implementation roadmap is set up. I do want to point out before I provide this context, though, that and it's probably one of the key takeaways, is that SAP Activate and Central Business Configuration coexist and complement each other, in fact, throughout the implementation process. They do not contain overlapping information, but rather CBC extends the guidance of SAP Activate deeper into the solution. So as I mentioned, I did want to provide some context about the SAP S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap, because unlike the S4HANA Cloud 3-system landscape implementation roadmap, the S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap supports 2 configuration scenarios, which you can see here in this tree-like format. First, the first configuration scenario it supports is customers with subscriptions after November 2020, which is this orange-ish branch here to the left. And this is for all those customers that will be using Central Business Configuration as a tool for configuring SAP S4HANA Cloud. And then the second scenario that this implementation roadmap supports is for all customers who have subscriptions starting before November 2020 and all test tenant subscribers, which is indicated with this right branch here with this dark gray, and who will be using the Manager Solution app when configuring SAP S4HANA Cloud. So with this in mind, as I was saying, I'll say again, these 2 scenarios is specific to S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap because it supports 2 configuration scenarios, whereas S4HANA Cloud 3-system landscape only has 1. And then with that, I will go ahead and demo how you can find this information in the SAP S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap and how you can find that central business configuration content there. So here you should see the homepage of SAP Activate Roadmap Viewer, which is Roadmap Viewer is the tool where you can find all of the implementation roadmaps. Here you can see if you want to explore more roadmaps, you can explore more implementation roadmaps. Here I have favorited a couple of roadmaps, therefore it's a little bit more of a filtered view. As I said, we are more interested for this session on the S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap. For those, as I mentioned, since this is only available for early adopters, for those partners that are helping those customers with the S4HANA Cloud 3-system landscape, there is a roadmap over here, which I won't really go into, but you can find information there for those who are helping with the early adopters. But I will click the SAP S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap, and I'll be taken into this overview page here, which just highlights, will show visually some of the work streams that are covered in this implementation roadmap, as well as some of the tasks and deliverables. Obviously, the one that is most impacted by central business configuration and a lot of the information is the application design and configuration workstream. And then below it will go through each phase, highlighting some of the key activities in that area. If you go to this tab above here, we can now go to the content and kind of the real meat of the implementation roadmap. And if we go to the left-hand panel, we have added a tag called SAP Central Business Configuration to really help filter the content that is really relevant only for those who are using the configuration scenario of Central Business Configuration or using CBC to configure SAP S4HANA Cloud. And here you'll get a filtered view of all the tasks and deliverables that are relevant when you're using CBC to configure SAP S4HANA Cloud. Just to ensure though, if you forgot to do the tag, there are specific tasks that highlight in the title when you'll be using SAP CBC, or you would be using Manager Solution to configure. For example, new scope activation via SAP Central Business Configuration, new scope item activation for Manager Solution. And further to drive home the point, we have added pre-qualifiers just to really make sure that this is only relevant for customers using Central Business Configuration, or this is only relevant for customers configuring via Manage Your Solution app. So those without SAP Central Business Configuration. Before, I guess, we kind of go into the Q&A portion of this presentation and kind of wrapping up, as this kind of wraps up the demo portion for me, as I just kind of wanted to show you how you could find this information. You, of course, can go into the roadmap yourself, dig a little deeper to find some of the more specific content. I did want to highlight, I'm going to go back to the presentation. If any of you would like to, as I said, take a deeper look into the S4HANA Cloud roadmap that I just demoed, you can either Google Roadmap Viewer, it's Googleable, and select the first link, or you can use this QR code here or the link on the slide. And in addition, for those of you who are interested, SAP Activate now has a tag on the SAP community. It has a topic page. You can feel free to follow with this little, when you go to the topic page, there's a follow button. Follow, and you will find release notes, for example, some of the enhancements for S4HANA Cloud implementation roadmap, as well as blogs for myself and other SAP Activate experts, as well as not only on Central Business Configuration, but other implementation related topics. And the QR code for that page is here, or the link is in the slide here below. And for that, I believe I will hand it over to Greg, who will be closing out the session. So Greg,
thank you. Thank you very much, Lauren. And thank you, of course, to all of our speakers for your interesting presentations.
This is Axel speaking. One question is not answered. I would just briefly answer that here in live because I pressed the, I'm sorry for that, wrong button.
Sure, no problem.
So it's related to the foreign key errors, whether they will be not existing anymore in 3-system landscape. I'm sorry to say, no, still we will face them because this is a general issue. Something in the content is missing and therefore we will not see the transport. And the reason for that could be simple bug, could be also missing content in configuration, wrong references, whatever. But what we have in 3-system landscape is a better possibility to see them earlier, and then also give customers possibilities, maybe not with the early adopter release, but later, but the customer can handle and see this error in more detail. Yeah? In the 2-system landscape, it's quite annoying because you know, oh, there is an issue, but you have no idea how to fix it. So this is something to change and will change. Okay, all from my side. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Axel. And as Axel suggested, we have had quite a few questions in the session so far, but the speakers have been working away to answer them in the background. So if you open the Q&A and click on Answered, you should see a list of the different questions and answers provided. We still do have some time left in the session though, so if anyone has any further questions, by all means, please contribute them into the Q&A chat and we can answer them live right now. So it would seem that we have covered all of the questions. We'll just wait another couple of minutes just in case anyone's typing. We'll also update the slides on the landing page with an update, with an overview of all the question and answers too. So in case anyone wants to refer back to those, we'll make those available as well. So otherwise, it seems that there are no open questions remaining. So once again, I would like to say a massive thank you to all of our speakers today and to everyone who's joined the call. I hope it was informative for you. With that, we can end the call a bit earlier, and I would like to wish you all a very pleasant afternoon still. So thank you very much.